Ladies and gentlemen, this is very interesting. A Salon article. Gaetz claims Kevin McCarthy bartered security footage for votes. Republican lawmakers have been demanding the release of this footage for almost a year. There's also Mar-a-Lago security footage. According to BuzzFeed, there's 14,000 hours. Matt Gaetz and Jim Jordan and Kevin McCarthy now, because that's part of the agreement, and Trump, and that's the key here. Trump is releasing this footage through Congress, or Congress is releasing this footage on behalf of Trump. However you want to look at it, Donald Trump is running the House of Representatives. That's a fantastic thing. They hid security footage for a reason. Because whereas it was a terrible day, horrible day, should never have happened, it wasn't an attempt to devour democracy. It wasn't Pearl Harbor or the Battle of Antietam. And what Democrats do is they overplay their hand all the time, not realizing that eventually the House will change hands. And so when they say, oh my goodness, and you have Adam Kinzinger tearing up and all, it's like, well, Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney stood silent after the Dobbs Act, the Dobbs decision, where you had churches torched to the ground, buildings set ablaze, destroyed, Kavanaugh at risk of his life, and with his life at risk, and Supreme Court justices, the conservative ones, intimidated all the time. So you have you have this type of response that media overlooks when it suits them, and the picture is, oh my God, look at these maniacal Trumpers. Well, if you have 14,000 hours of security footage, you watch the 14,000 hours, you might realize that this wasn't this wasn't the image, the word that they use all the time to describe what took place. It was a tragedy, but Trump is protected under the First Amendment. He did not tell anyone to commit criminal acts. Furthermore, a lot of bizarre things took place. Ted Cruz, especially, had a wonderful exchange with a Federal Bureau of Investigation representative under oath in Congress. People should listen to that exchange. You have to ask yourself, does the media tell the truth or part of the truth? And if you're only hearing part of the truth, is that exactly reality? Okay? Reality encompasses the entire picture. And so Trump has never gotten the benefit of the doubt or the entire picture. It's only been Trump's the embodiment of criminality. But he hasn't been indicted for anything. Now you have Biden with Jim Jordan's launching a special, a criminal probe in the judiciary. Watch my segment prior to this one. Trump is essentially the Speaker of the House. De facto status. McCarthy has given the speakership to Trump and Matt Gaetz and everybody else. This Salon article talks about it. And Democrats have seen this and they said, oh my God. And there have been articles, Trump is basically Speaker of the House now. But the security footage that this article talks about here, McCarthy said, okay, give me your votes for Speaker. And he's a Speaker in name only, and we'll release that footage. He probably wanted to anyway, because he's close to Trump. The impeachment of Biden is going to take place. There's a special counsel of Biden. Then you have Hunter possibly being indicted, almost certainly, or a plea deal of some sort, and then a push to indict him by Republicans. So the current administration is going to come politically crashing down, politically. That paves the way for Hillary 24. That I've been talking about that. But because who benefits from this in the Democratic Party? Nobody but Madam Secretary. But you have a situation where that security footage, 14,000 hours, released by Kevin McCarthy, Matt Gaetz, is essentially Trump releasing that footage. Okay? It's not just Congress releasing that footage. It's Trump finally getting his vantage point out there. And the vehicle to do so is through Congress, which is really amusing when you see Adam Kinzinger on CNN. If, like, the next guest that they have on CNN should simply ask former Congressman Kinzinger, why did he vote over 90% of the time with Donald Trump? With President Trump. He loved President Trump's policies. According to 538, he voted alongside Trump. So did Cheney, even more so. Cheney voted 92% of the time. So you have these people who act. They have this morally superior act, but in reality, it's about, okay, I'm not going to run I'm not going to run again. Would love to make $300,000 to $400,000 on a cable news network that only obsesses over Trump. So, but anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. Again, left, right, center. If you think Kinzinger is fantastic, God bless you. Anybody, Republican, Democrat, Communist, Socialist, God bless you. Have a wonderful 2023 and a beautiful and amazing day and weekend. And only joy and happiness for you. I don't really care what your political leaning is. I want to, like I said, give some love and some good vibes out there. And I just wish you only happiness and the best every single day of this year and every year afterwards. Hit subscribe to this channel, 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. every single day. 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. every single day on H.A. Goodman. And 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. on H.A. Goodman's other channel. Become a Patreon. To my new Patreons, thank you so much. And to my super thanks, the super thanks is below next to the like and the share buttons. And you can go to hagoodman.com to read my writing on The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, the Jerusalem Post, the Federalist, and other publications. And become part of a newsletter there. The security footage is a huge issue. Once that takes place, ladies and gentlemen, once Republicans are able to, it takes 2 seconds. The Republicans should do a better job. Trump Republicans should do a better job in terms of, through social media explaining how Democrats have lied about what really happened, what really is happening on a variety of topics. The issue is that there's going to be exculpatory evidence in the court of public opinion. Suddenly, if you watch this footage, and it's not just, it's security footage from Mar-a-Lago also. Mar-a-Lago security footage as well. When the video is not going to correlate to the apoplectic and hysterical media coverage. And that's why the majority of Americans, 70%, don't trust media. 70% of Americans do not trust media. There's a reason for that, okay? Because whereas before you had decades ago, you had Walter Cronkite or Sam Donaldson or Peter Jennings or David Brinkley, they didn't care who won. The journalists I just mentioned didn't care who won. Okay? Left or right, they didn't have a political side. They just called it the way they saw it. You should watch the CNN coverage of 2000, Gore versus Bush. They didn't really care. You didn't see people crying. How can you have people crying when Trump won? People are like, what? He allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever, addressed prison reform legislation. We had record low poverty under Trump, record low poverty. We had the Doha Agreement, which brought Americans home, and Biden completely botched that, and he was reluctantly had to abide by Trump's agreement, and those 13 Americans, those over 100 Afghans should be alive today. And first president to step foot in North Korea to begin a détente between North and South Korea. And you had the Abraham Accords. He moved the embassy to Jerusalem, very important for me and, people of my background. And so recognized the Golans as Israel's Golan Heights. And so a lot of good things he did for a lot of people, Trump. And you can look, record highs in household median income for everybody. So, and we didn't have the invasion in Europe that we're seeing now. So, I mean, it's like, we have these people who are like, oh, you abandoned the working class. The working class did much better with Trump. We didn't have the inflation we have now. What working class are you talking about? The people who are finding it very difficult to buy eggs? That working class? The working class that's okay with endless, quagmire invasion? I mean, the same Democrats who are like, oh, you can't cut Social Security, which I agree. But they're okay with 100 billion or 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 billion for a proxy quagmire that is never ending. It's really interesting, the priorities of the morally superior. That's why it was a moral imperative always to vote for Trump. He's the less militant. That's why above concerns for the planet or anything like that, the greatest priority to save the planet is to ensure that ICBMs don't go flying around. But that's the morally superior don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. Do you understand? That type of mentality is relegated to little small people like me. People who are insignificant like myself who care about ICBMs and all that. Who cares, honestly? It's about what Trump said 30 years ago in a tweet. Hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you. Have a great, great day. I'll be back at about 3, 4 p.m. Make sure every day also about 3, 4 p.m. check the channel because I will have segments upload. I might have a live stream tonight. We had a live stream yesterday. It was fun. But we might have one tonight. We might not. But share this segment everywhere, people. Thank you so